happy Monday. Good morning. We are back with Terri Trespicio. Hi, Terri.
Hello. Good to be back.
And I'm not going to get it wrong this time. 8 million views on her TED Talk, ladies.
Very excited.
So last week we talked about busting myths in terms of rules that we have carried, rules that we've followed that no longer serve us, baggage we have carried. And we're all this is in trying to move everybody towards success, right? That is what we wish for everybody. Today is a myth that we're talking about. I'm very excited about. You know, I think everybody has heard of nothing happens inside your comfort zone. You got to get the ship out the harbor. The ship can't stay in. You know, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. All the sayings, right? Why do you believe that is not true, Terri? How are we going to bust the comfort zone myth today?
Well, I have my own opinions, but they are backed up by people a lot smarter and more widely published than me. But let's start with the idea. I get it that you think you can't grow inside your comfort zone, that you have to, well, this is my real issue with the myth, is that it skews it so that you're supposed to aim for the discomfort, make an effort to be uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's an oxymoron. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm not trying to be uncomfortable all the time. You know why? Because most of us spend a humongous part of our lives uncomfortable. You were born into discomfort. Watch a baby being born. They come in screaming their heads off. They've been just ejected from the warmest, safest, coziest place they ever knew, and we're spat out into the world, and it doesn't get any easier from there. So let's just start with the idea that we are already not safe in a comfort zone all the time. We're already uncomfortable. So the goal in everything you can think of, everything you've bought, everything you've looked to do, was to increase your comfort. I want a better pair of shoes so that my feet are more comfortable. I would love to make more money so that my life is more comfortable. Even people who will go and do one of these like torturous self-healing thing, they go sit in a hot tent for days on, or whatever they do. They will take first class on the ride home. You know what I mean? Like, we all want leg room. So let's not pretend. And the thing I don't like about it, I'll say it, it's just very bro-y. I've more often than not heard men telling people that they should aim for discomfort. And to me, if you're pursuing discomfort, what a wonderful life you live that you have to work so hard to find it, because I don't. Which is why my goal is not to stay in a small space and be coddled and small, but to expand my own comfort zone so that I'm aiming for comfort. Not ashamed to say that. And the person who will back me up on this is one Marcus Buckingham, very widely known and published, who had one of the most popular articles in Harvard Business Review ever called The Feedback Fallacy. And I've read it. I've read those quotes so many times, and I've read it over and over again. One of my favorites is he says, take someone out of their comfort zone and they will be able to think about little else but getting back in it. That's a paraphrase. But the idea is you can't think when you're outside of it. And the comparison I say is, do you do your best work when you're hangry? Why do therapist's office have you sit on a couch and not a bed of nails? We need comfort in order to get in our groove. And the way that I make sure I can write and generate as much copy and language and writing as I do is to make sure that I'm comfortable, because it's from the seat of comfort that we can take risks and take chances. Not when you're scared, not when you're stressed.
Wow. So how do, I'm trying to now wrap my mind around this. How do we do things that are new, that we've never done before, which are usually uncomfortable, while staying in a comfortable place? So you're
going to feel uncomfortable. Oh, I can't promise you're going to stay cozy, coddled all the time. You're going to feel uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. And I have sought out what seemed to be uncomfortable things. I did stand-up comedy for a while. I haven't done it in years now. But stand-up comedy, there's nothing comfortable about that. But I wanted to be more comfortable doing it. What I'm talking about is change the thing. If you want to try doing something, building your writing business, writing a book, doing a whole new thing, do you think that that's daunting enough?
Yeah.
Do you think now you're supposed to aim to be uncomfortable on top of it? No, I take plenty of risks. I work for myself. I've been taking those risks for a long time, but I make sure that I am doing it. How do I define comfort? ensuring that I take care of the instrument first. If, writing is a physical act, your body is your instrument. Did you ever see a cellist on the subway? I have. They treat that thing like it was made of glass. We don't treat our bodies that way, but I have for years. I'm talking the basics. I make sure I get good sleep. I exercise every day. I eat well, blah, 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 blah. That makes me comfortable. I feel rested. I feel calm. I make sure I talk to people who I love every day. I am not trying to rough it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is so hard. Sure, work is hard. Sure. I parted ways with a client recently. I wasn't uncomfortable, real uncomfortable. And I endured it the way you endure an acutely uncomfortable moment. And afterwards, I comforted myself a lot. I think I comforted myself with a glass of wine. But okay, alcohol is not the answer for everyone. But do you see what I'm saying?
It got you to a place of comfort. Yes.
Aim to expand it. So if you're nervous pitching, say you're like, oh, I'm pitching these bigger proposals now, I'm a little nervous about it, feels uncomfortable. You do have to be uncomfortable, but you have to know that you're making that risk from inside a place of comfort. Like, okay, well, I'm going to do it. And guess what? If it doesn't work out and they didn't buy, it's okay. We'll go on to the next thing. It's a mental state. I don't want to live on a high wire. I don't know anyone who does. Yeah. So take no shame in making yourself comfortable as you take on new risks, because without it, you can't take on any. And know that you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's multiple layers to that. So I love the idea of making yourself as comfortable as possible before approaching the discomfort. But I also love the idea of the goal of comfort versus like the goal of discomfort.
Right.
So yes, it's like when you broke up with the clients, it was uncomfortable, but I'm guessing it was way more comfortable your work and life afterwards if you had to.
Oh, yes.
Actually,
I talked to a guy who was like, I don't know if I believe your theory, because this is hashtag privilege alert. He was like, I like my ice bath way better than I like my sauna. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, the sauna is more comfortable, but I love the ice bath. And I was like, why do you love the ice bath? And he was like, well, it makes me so alert and it's so healthy. He had all the lists of the things. And I said, okay. And if you were doing that ice bath and you ended up having all kinds of aches and pains and you gained weight and you couldn't sleep, would you still do the ice bath? No, he's not trying to be uncomfortable. Yeah. And I said, what else about it do you like? He's like, well, the shower after feels so much better. I said, oh, so you use an ice bath to heighten your comfort after. We're all reaching for it. So I think we should just stop BSing and pretending that we're not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And I think it makes us all more human. I feel like it's one of those things that we don't have to pretend anymore.
Yes. Such posturing.
Yeah. So I love
like, don't tell me to be uncomfortable. Like, you go be uncomfortable. Like, don't tell me. I'll decide how discomfortable my life can be.
Yeah. And I also do think that, most times whenever we're trying to grow, do something, there's options, right? There's not only one decision, like reaching out to a client. You can cold call, you can cold email, you can just friend on LinkedIn or whatever it's called to like connect on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? So within that realm, some people love talking on the phone and would love to rather do that. Some people like an IM is like they're more comfortable of the uncomfortable zone, So I think there's choices in what you can frame it, and you don't to go in with the mind frame that you don't have to pick the difficult, most challenging.
What are you trying to prove? Last week we talked about baggage and how sometimes we think we want to be rid of it, but we hang on to it. Yeah. I have a related question to ask ourselves, which is, how comfortable are you actually right now? When you think about being uncomfortable, I'm going to aim for discomfort. I'm going to try to make myself uncomfortable. Are you doing that? Or are you trading one discomfort for another? Because if I choose between having a difficult conversation and taking an ice cold shower, I might take an ice cold shower, which is not comfortable. And I might say, oh, I'm being uncomfortable. I might be trading one discomfort for another as a distraction. So we got to be honest with ourselves. How comfortable are you really? And what does that look like for you? Can you really allow yourself to be that way? Or are you just chickening out and deciding that that's comfortable? Because if I pass on trying anything, I think, oh, I want to be comfortable. I'm now not comfortable because I know I didn't take any chances. I'm not growing.
And that lives with you. You can't suppress that no matter what you try to do. Yeah. All righty. So I think myth busted. Let us know in the comments what you think. And as you can see, we're just trying to overcome blockages and, I think create that flow to success. So we're going to talk a bit more about that next week. Terri, thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you then. Bye, everybody.